From analog.
Hi, Jim. You've a great signal up here. You're 5.9 plus.
To digital.
We are everywhere you want to be. This is the CQ Blind Pams Podcast.
Hello, everyone. This is Robert NC5R. And in this podcast, I'm going to be discussing a fairly new weather option that's available for the Clearnode devices called SkyWarn Plus. If you've had a Clearnode for a while, you may know that originally there was an option called Auto Sky, which would allow you to set it up and get some weather information. Auto Sky is still there, but SkyWarn Plus is a much more robust, full-featured weather reporting application. So they're both on the Clearnode now, and they both can be accessed through the Clearnode app, either on iOS or Android. But they cannot both be utilized at the same time. So if you decide to go with SkyWarn Plus, you will have to make sure to turn Auto Sky off so that only one is operational. In this podcast, I'm going to show you how to gather the things that you need from the internet to set up SkyWarn Plus. I'm going to walk you through the actual allstar options under SkyWarn Plus, and we're going to show you briefly how it works when you use DTMF tones to access SkyWarn information from your radio. Hope you enjoy this podcast, and I hope the information here is useful. Thanks for tuning in. Sit back and listen, and here we go with SkyWarn Plus. For SkyWarn Plus to be able to provide you with local weather information, your county code has to be entered into the allstar setup. If you ordered your Clearnode from Node Ventures and asked them to set it up for you, there's a good chance that they have already entered your 6-digit county code. The way to check and see whether your county code is already entered is to go to the iOS or Android Clearnode app, go to All-Star Settings, scroll down the page until you get to Weather Options, scroll right and you'll see a field for your zip code, and just to the right of the zip code field there will be a field for county code. If yours is already filled in with a 3-letter code and a 3-digit code, in other words, the first 2 letters will be your state abbreviation, like TX for Texas or NC for North Carolina, followed by the letter C for county, followed by 3 digits. If that's already there, you don't have to worry about doing any more with your county code. It's already filled in for you. If, however, there is nothing in the county code field, then you will have to locate your county code and fill it in. To do that, there is a link in the show notes for this podcast which will allow you to access a text file. This text file is a listing of all of the county codes, and sometimes the codes are not listed as a county code, but sometimes they're listed by the name of the city. At any rate, you will need to bring this text file into some sort of text editor where you can search for either the name of your county or the name of your city if your county is not in the text file. Once you find that information, there will actually be a 6-digit code listed for your county or your city, you will need to use the last 3 digits of that code. Remember, the first 3 characters of the code need to be your 2-letter abbreviation for your state, the letter C for county. These 3 characters are all capitalized. In my case, cap T, cap X, cap C. Then you enter the last 3 digits that are there for your county or city, and that is your county code that has to go into the allstar setup under weather options. Now I'm going to explain what a voice RSS key is and how to get one. In order for SkyWarn Plus to be able to broadcast weather information to your radio so that your transceiver can broadcast it to you, it has to be able to use a text-to-speech voice to send the information to. This requires one to go online to a website called voicerss.org, create an account, and request a key which you have to enter into SkyWarn Plus when you do the setup in the allstar setup section of the Clearnode app. Once this key is entered, then when a SkyWarn warning happens, a speech version of that warning will be automatically generated by SkyWarn and sent to your node and broadcast over your radio. So to get a voice RSS key, you have to go to the website voicerss.org, and the easiest thing to do once you get to the site is have your screen reader do a search for Get API Key. That will take you to the link where you need to be. I'm going to go there now on my Mac.
Get API Key.
I'm going to now jump down to the first heading on the Get API Key page.
Heading Level 1, Login.
And this is where you log in. If you already have an account and you've already gotten a key and maybe you need to see it again, need to use it again for some reason, you can log in here and get access to your key. I believe they also send you the key via email when one gets generated. If you don't have an account, though, you need to go over to the
Visited link, register
link. And the register link is where you actually create an account. They'll ask you for your username, which is an email address. They'll ask you to create a password. And I believe they ask you to verify that you're not a robot by checking a box that says, I'm not a robot. I don't think there's a full CAPTCHA there, but I don't remember, honestly. It's been a long time since I set mine up. At any rate, you need to go through the sign up procedure. You'll get an email from voicerss.org saying that you have been validated and you can now go back to the website and get your key. But as I said, I believe that key is also sent via email, but I'm not 100% positive of that. So that's how you get the voice RSS key that will have to go into your All-Star Setup SkyWarn Plus section. And we'll be talking about All-Star Setup next. I'm now going to walk you through the SkyWarn Plus setup, which is inside the All-Star Setup section of the Clearnode app. I'm using the iOS app on my iPhone, and that's what you're going to be hearing. I assume the Android app for the Clearnode works in a very similar manner with these screens, but I can't vouch for that because I only have the iPhone. So I'm going to open up the Clearnode app and we're going to see how this works.
Clearnode.
So I'm now in the Clearnode app. I have 2 nodes.
55,254 idle. But 56,571 idle. Button.
I have them both set up to work with SkyWarn, but just for grins, we'll use the first one.
5,254 idle. Button. Clearnode. Radio.
So I just double tapped on that node and went to its operation screen. I'm now going to go down to the bottom of the screen and go back up and locate the allstar setup section.
Allstar setup. Button.
I'm going to double tap on allstar setup.
So, button.
And now I'm going to do a 3-finger scroll up to move a bit further down the pages of allstar setup so that I can more easily locate the weather section, which is pretty far down in the setup screens.
Weather options.
I'm now at the weather options part of the allstar setup, and this is what I'm going to walk you through.
Zip for weather. 77,845. Enable auto sky at boot. Enable auto sky at boot. Switch button. Off.
The auto sky was the original weather source that was available on the Clearnode. You cannot have auto sky and SkyWarn in operation at the same time. So if you noticed here, I have auto sky turned off. If you have it on and you want to enable SkyWarn Plus, you'll have to turn it off.
WS County Codes. DXC041.
Now we have the county code that we learned how to access earlier. This is where mine is filled in, and this is where you will need to fill yours in this edit box right here in the app if it's not filled in already.
SkyWarn Plus options. Enable SkyWarn Plus. Enable SkyWarn Plus. Switch button. On. Double tap to toggle setting.
So you'll want to turn it on if it's off.
Generate configuration file. Generate configuration file. Switch button. On.
You want to turn on generate configuration file.
Enable test mode. Switch button. Off. Double tap to toggle setting.
There is a test mode that you can enable. I'm going to let you hear what the radio sounds like when SkyWarn broadcasts the test mode. Here is a recording of the SkyWarn Plus test mode.
Tornado warning. Severe thunderstorm warning. Tornado watch.
Detailed alert information for tornado warning. This alert was manually injected as a test.
Enable Sky Describe. Switch button. On.
You want Sky Describe enabled, turned on, so that you can hear a description of what SkyWarn is reporting. So this needs to be turned on.
Voice RSS API key.
Now you've got your voice RSS API key, which we learned how to sign up for and get on the website.
95F4000.
So that was starting to read my key. And I just want to show you one thing here that you may not be aware of. If you got a key via email, or if you log on to the voicerss.org website using your phone, you can go down and find your key. And once you have that key spoken by voiceover, the way mine just was, you can do a 3-finger quadruple tap to have that phrase copied to the clipboard like this.
95 F4174 F2245 EA839 to a 7B3810 Ca3D copied to clipboard.
So now you just heard that my entire key was copied to the clipboard, and then I would be able to go back over here to this edit box where my key currently is, double tap on it and paste that key in here so I don't have to enter it by hand on the iPhone keypad or iPhone touchscreen, if you will. So that's a way of dealing with the key if you need to get it in there.
Time type. Onset. Button. 1 of 2. Selected. Effective. Button. 2 of 2.
So now you have a time type with an onset choice and an effective choice. I've chosen effective.
Say alerts. New only. Button. 1 of selected. All. Button. 2 of 2.
The say alerts option, I like to hear them all. So that's what I have selected.
All clear. Say all clear. Switch button. On.
So when the alerts are all cleared, I like for SkyWarn to give me that notification.
Enable automatic courtesy tones. Switch button. Off. Double tap to toggle setting.
There's an enable automatic courtesy tones. I'm honestly not sure exactly what that one does, but I have it turned off.
NWS alert types. Air quality alert. Ashfall warning. Avalanche warning. Blizzard warning. Blowing dust warning. Civil danger warning. Civil emergency message. Coastal flood warning. Dust storm warning. Earthquake warning. Evacuation, immediate. Extreme wind warning. Fire warning. Flood advisory. Flood watch. Gale warning. Gale watch. Hazardous materials warning. Heat advisory. Hurricane force wind warning. Hurricane local statement. Hurricane warning. Ice storm warning. Law enforcement warning. Local area emergency. Nuclear power plant warning. Radiological hazard warning. Severe thunderstorm warning. Shelter-in-place warning. Tornado warning. Tornado watch. Tropical storm warning. Winter storm warning. Button.
So now you just heard all of the possible warnings and alerts that SkyWarn Plus is capable of providing. You double tap on this button and you go into this screen and check the ones that you want your SkyWarn Plus to alert you of. That's how that option works. I just let you hear all of them so you could see what's possible.
Sky describe language. On us. Button.
Sky describe language. Mine is set to English.
Sky describe voice. John. Button.
There is an option for setting the Sky describe voice. Mine on this particular node is set to John, but you can go in here and select from different male and female voices. So that is it for the options under the All-Star Setup SkyWarn section. Remember, once you have selected all the options that you want, you have to go back up to the top of the screen. You can do that with a 4-finger single tap at the top of the screen.
Setup from node. Menu. Save. Button.
So you can go into this save screen and you want to tell it to reboot your node and save the new configuration. If you don't save it, your settings will not be there the next time you turn your radio on or the next time you access your node. So you have to make sure that you save it. There's one more thing that has to be set up before this is all done, and that is under
Manage timed events.
That's under a section that's on the main Clearnode screen for this node called Manage Time Events.
SkyWarn Plus check advisories. Switch button. On.
So you have to turn SkyWarn Plus advisory options to on if it's set to off before it will start working for you. And again, that's under Manage Timed Events. Once you've done all those things that we have explored in this podcast, your SkyWarn Plus will be up and running, and you'll be receiving warnings when they happen in your area. It does take sometimes 2 or 3 minutes or more for you to hear a full report with SkyWarn Plus. I'm going to record a brief section about how to access full reports using touch tones on your radio. That'll be coming up next. So very briefly, just a little bit about how this actually works. When you're sitting there and something happens, like a tornado warning or any warning that you have specified that you want to hear about from SkyWarn, your node will broadcast to your radio a brief message like fog advisory or wind advisory or tornado warning. And when you want to actually hear the details about that advisory or that warning, you can access the details using touch tones on your radio. The commands start with a star and then an 8, 4, and another digit. Star 841 is where it begins, and it goes up through star 842, 843, 844, and so on for as many warnings or reports as you have currently active. If there is nothing active, you get an error message. It doesn't mean there's anything wrong with your SkyWarn Plus. It simply means there is nothing to report. So since it can't generate a report, since there's no warning, it generates an error message. I'm going to enter star 841 on my radio now and let you hear SkyWarn come back with that error message.
Sky describe error. No alert found at index 1.
So now you know what that sounds like when you access SkyWarn through your touch tones. But if there is a warning of some sort, that will give you a report.
Don't forget to subscribe to this podcast and visit www.blindhams.com.